Welcome to Fordham Student TV News. I'm Haley Messenger.
And I'm Becky DiTullio. Before we get started, let's turn it to one of our reporters for the latest on Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh.
Last month, California professor Dr. Christine Blasey Ford accused Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexual assault. The two testified in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and the FBI performed an investigation. The Senate confirmed Kavanaugh this past Saturday, voting 50 to 48. Kavanaugh took his seat on the court on Tuesday. From FSTV News, I'm Becky.
President Trump announced that he will, quote, terminate and replace the North American Free Trade Agreement with Canada and Mexico, along with its name. In a press conference last Monday, the president said that the United States-Canada-Mexico Agreement, or USMCA, is a, quote, historic win for American manufacturers and auto workers and a victory for farmers. The deal has been sent to Congress for approval.
Thousands fled the Global Citizen Festival in a mass panic last weekend after the sound of falling barriers created fears of gunfire. After officials assured remaining attendees that no active shooter was present, Janet Jackson and The Weeknd took to the stage to resume and close out the show.
On September 25th, Bill Cosby was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison for sexually assaulting Andrea Constand. In 2015, Fordham rescinded the honorary degree that they awarded him in 2001.
The death toll from Hurricane Florence is continuing to climb 2 weeks after the storm hit the southeast. According to Time, an 85-year-old man died last month after contracting a bacterial infection. The death toll now stands at 48, while 1,500 still remain in shelters.
At the end of last month, Father McShane delivered his annual State of the University address at Fordham Law School. McShane celebrated this past year of fundraising, telling attendees that the university has already raised $140 million of its $175 million goal of Faith and Hope, the campaign for financial aid. Since its launch last year, the campaign has also created 139 new scholarships. The president also praised the past year of admissions, noting that the class of 2022's average SAT score was 11 points higher than the previous class, and that 37% of accepted students came from historically underrepresented groups. The class of 2022 is 2,286 in size, coming mostly from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, California, and Massachusetts.
The president also talked about Fordham's first ever Chief Diversity Officer, Rafael Zapata, who joined the diversity leadership team this past January. Just last week, Father McShane sent out a letter on the diversity team's diversity action plan progress thus far. Some new and ongoing initiatives that the team has set in place include: they noted the launch of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council as their most significant one. Finally, the president mourned the loss of Fordham Provost Stephen Friedman, who died suddenly this past July at the age of 68 years old. Friedman was a part of the Fordham family for more than 10 years and took on roles as Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, Chief Academic Officer, Professor, and Traveler. A new scholarship fund was created in his memory.
This year, Fordham Law celebrates 100 years of women. In September of 1918, the school put this ad in the New York Times. Then, only 8 women enrolled alongside 312 men. Today, the numbers are just about even. The university also appointed Kareem Piatt as their new Title IX coordinator. Piatt served as Cornell's acting Title IX coordinator before coming to the Bronx.
On September 19th, USG's House Committee held the Keating Steps Club Showcase. Reporter Vicky Kalpaxis went to the event to check it out.
The Fordham B-Sides opened the 2018 Keating Steps Club Showcase with Shark in the Water by Vivi Brown. The university's oldest co-ed a cappella group practiced for the event since the beginning of the semester. Group members Emma Angiolucci and Kristen Gonzalez talk about what it was like to see the preparation process come to life.
I'd say it went pretty well. I was feeling a lot of energy from the crowd because they started clapping during Shark in the Water.
Yeah. I think we did a really great job. Matt sounded so good. I'm forgetting. I love him.
I was having a lot of fun, which is good.
More than 100 students gathered on Eddie's Parade to enjoy Mr. Softy's ice cream and watch performances from other groups including the Satin Dolls, Hot Notes, Ramblers, and Fordham Experimental Theater. Fordham senior Annie Berg tells us what brought her out to the event.
I love to see the performance groups on campus, so me and my friends came out and we're really excited.
Singers and comedians weren't the only ones who had the chance to showcase their skills. Dance groups such as Fordham, Flava, and Slancha brought their moves to the steps. Vice President of Student Life and House Committee Chairperson Ashley Kamar shares what it was like to plan the event.
I've been programming for this event for about 2 months, and I'm really excited to have it back because last year, because of scheduling, it wasn't around. So.
The House Committee is looking forward to putting on the showcase again next year. For FSTV News, I'm Becky Kalpaxis.
Next, let's turn it over to Riya for more on what's happening in the business world.
Tesla shares surged last Monday after CEO Elon Musk settled charges with the SEC. The SEC accused Musk of fraud, claiming that he tweeted misleading statements regarding the making of Tesla private. According to CNBC, Musk agreed to pay a civil penalty of $20 million and give up his role as chairman of the board for at least 3 years. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon sat down with CNBC to put all rumors of a potential 2020 presidential candidacy to rest. He states that he'd prefer to be on the sidelines and that the idea of running was formed by the people around him telling him to do so. Dimon, however, went on to elaborate on how business shapes the economy and military. He also wants to see an improvement in implementing effective policy concerning taxes. Dimon concluded the interview by backing former New York City's mayor, Michael Bloomberg. Bloomberg has not formally announced his running, but he is a very prominent figure in Washington politics and will continue to be seen doing just that. 'Tis the season for apple picking. Apple recently released the new line of products, including the Series 4 watch, the iPhone XR, the iPhone XS, and the iPhone XS Max. The XS Max is priced at $1,099, making it the most expensive iPhone yet. Apple also released Everyone Can Create on Apple Books early last week. The free digital curriculum that was previously only available to 350 schools for preview aims to help students develop skills in drawing, music, video, and photography. It is a follow-up on their Everyone Can Code initiative. According to Amazon, Alexa is getting pretty comfortable at home. In September, the company announced that the virtual assistant will help power the new Amazon Basics microwave. It is set to ship at $59.99 this November. The company's founder and CEO, Jeff Bezos, unveiled plans for Bezos Day One Fund a week earlier. According to Forbes, the $2 billion fund will support existing nonprofits that help homeless families and launch a network of nonprofit preschools in underprivileged areas. This news comes just 2 weeks after Amazon became the second U.S. company to hit $1 trillion market cap, right behind Apple, who beat them just a month before. In more tech news, the sector is under fire yet again for privacy concerns. Amazon's fellow FANG member, Facebook, discovered late last month that 50 million accounts had been exposed by a hack hit. The New York Times reports that the company does not know the origin or identity of the attackers. Earlier last month as well, Twitter discovered a software bug that may have sent direct messages to third-party users. According to CBS News, the company said it only affected less than 1% of its users. In May and June of this year, the company also suspended over 70 million suspicious and fake accounts. Dunkin' Brands just released that they are dropping the donuts from their logo starting in January of 2019. According to CNBC, the company is looking to focus more on their drink menu, which makes up 60% of its sales. A new Dunkin' on 42nd Street in Manhattan already bears a new name. Thank you for watching Billions and Bytes. For FSTV News, I'm Riya Goel.
Fashion for Philanthropy partnered with online clothing service Rent the Runway for its first event of the year. Students browsed jackets, dresses, jeans, skirts, and accessories at the pop-up shop held in McGinley Center. If they found something they liked, students were able to rent it for homecoming weekend. Fashion for Philanthropy co-presidents Elisa Fenter and Samantha Trabatoni talk about what it was like to plan the event.
We planned it very quick, and that's the awesome thing about Rent the Runway. They're so nimble and willing to do whatever very quickly and get it done, make it happen. So it's really fun planning things with them, especially when it is kind of last minute and it's on a whim, and it kind of works out the best way.
So true, so last minute. We had literally sent the email out today that this was happening at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, to our members.
They're such a great turnout.
They're so great. They came anyway. They're so awesome. Yeah.
FFP plans to continue to promote sustainability and host more events with Rent the Runway throughout the rest of the year. Next semester, the club will hold its annual spring fashion show to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Last year, I interviewed USG President and Vice President Connor Sullivan and Kaylee Wong on the show. The two told me about how they wanted to create a communications committee and connect more with the student body. Last week, that brand new committee had its very first meeting. our own Angelina Zervo sat down with chairpersons Kevin McSorley and Roderick Perez to learn more about what's in store for USG's newest edition.
Hi, I'm Angelina Zervos, and joining me today are the new chairpersons of the Communications Committee of United Student Government, juniors Roderick Perez and Kevin McSorley. So before we get started, would you each like to tell me a little bit about yourself so that way our student body can get to know you each a little bit better? Where you're from, what school you attend, and anything else you'd like us to know.
You want to start? Yeah, sure, I'll start. So my name is Kevin McSorley. I'm a marketing major with an intended digital technology and emerging media minor. I'm from Long Island, New York, greatest place in the world, and I'm in the Goel School of Business.
I'm Roderick Perez. I'm also a marketing major and also an intended minor in digital technology and emerging media. I'm from East Brunswick, New Jersey, actually the greatest place in the world, and I'm just super excited to be here.
That's great to hear. So you guys both go to the Goel Business School. Do you think that's going to affect the way that Rose Hill students are able to reach out to you guys or the way you'll be able to form a relationship with them?
So I wouldn't say it really is an issue because in our committee, even though Kevin and I are both in the Goel School of Business, we have a committee that approximately has 4 or 5 out of our 10 members in the Fordham College Rose Hill, so we do get all these different perspectives of students on campus, and the fact that we both are on the United Student Government and we hear these concerns of all the other students, whether they are in the Goel School of Business or Fordham College Rose Hill, we feel like we're very well versed in both of these schools' issues on campus.
Okay, that's great to hear as someone who attends Rose Hill. So the Communications Committee is a new branch of the United Student Government. So what are some of its long-term goals? Why was it added? And what do you guys think it will do to benefit the university as a whole?
In terms of long-term goals, we really want to increase transparency with our students, with the students on campus, both Rose Hill and Goel School of Business, because we feel like USG a lot of the time has been a faceless organization where students don't really know their representatives, they don't know exactly what their resources are with USG and what USG does for them. So our goal long-term is to increase our relationship with the students at Fordham University.
Yeah, in the past, communications has been handled by just one person. Currently, the person who actually did it last year is the current president of the United Student Government, Connor Sullivan. He was the one that started pushing for the establishment of this committee. And the reason why is because when it comes to handling website updates, which have to be updated really often, and plus marketing programs, on social media and all that stuff, it becomes very overwhelming just to put onto one person. And that's really reflected on the lack of visibility United Student Government has had with the student body. And so we feel like instead of taking one person doing all that, and instead having 10 people and working on all of these, spreading themselves out and working on different things, also learning while they're doing it, it's going to be beneficial to both the Vice President of Communications himself and everyone else as a whole.
A main concern of students today is diversity. So what are you doing as heads of the Communications Committee to handle this issue?
So the Communications and Marketing Committee is actually one of 11 branches of the United Student Government, and 2 of the other branches in the United Student Government actually happen to be the Committee on International Integration and the Committee on Diversity Action Coalition. So they're really the ones that handle a lot more on in terms of diversity. So as chairpeople of the Communications and Marketing Committee, what we can do to really target all these concerns and really spread the word or elaborate further on them is to really let the student body know that who the representatives are and who's here for them to answer these questions on diversity and who they can go to and who has the best connection with the administration in terms of letting their voices be heard and letting all their concerns be understood and just further elaborating on it more.
By building that relationship with the students, we can really let them know who's fighting for them, who's trying to tackle these big issues. Because obviously, USG as a whole is trying to tackle these issues, but there are students right now that are doing amazing work with the Diversity Action Coalition and with the Committee on International Integration that are just really trying to help this issue with diversity. So we just really want to build that relationship with the students so that they know exactly who's fighting for them.
In addition to the Diversity Committee, what are some other branches of the United Student Government that the Communications Committee would relate students to?
So since the entire goal of the Communications Committee is to really raise visibility as a whole, we try to relate students to every single branch of the United Student Government and their personal senators in the United Student Government. So for example, some of the other committees on United Student Government are the Budget Committee, which handles a lot of club funding allocations. So if a club needs money to hold an event, all the money taken from the student activities fee, any questions involving those go to the Budget Committee. House does a lot of programming and club suite allocations to all these clubs. And the list just goes on and on with each and every other committee, such as the Sexual Conduct Committee and Sustainability Committee, so on and so on. But we just really are focusing on trying to let everyone know what committees they could go to try to make these changes on campus, because a lot of these students do have issues, but they just don't know who to go to for to voice themselves.
Are there any other issues that you see on campus now that you and the rest of the Communications Committee would like to mitigate?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
so I think a really big issue that students have right now is just a lack of knowledge of resources that Fordham has to offer. Because there's a whole United Student Government that people don't even know about. There are resources on campus that students can use, they just don't know how to or where they can use them. So I think increasing this relationship of information and dialogue between USG, the students, and Fordham as a whole is really going to increase knowledge of these issues that students are having, so that USG as a whole can better understand where students are coming from and their perspectives.
So how do you guys feel being the very first chairpersons of the Communications Committee at United Student Government?
Well, speaking for myself, I hope Kevin feels the same way, but I'm super excited. It's not about being the first chairpersons of this committee, but it's more about having this impact for the student body as a whole. We're super excited because this is an issue that the United Student Government has faced a lot in the past. A lot of people know there's a United Student Government, but they don't know what it does. They don't know what they can really accomplish. They don't even know if we do accomplish anything. But I feel like since the United Student Government does have that great connection with administration, they really can do so much, especially with the voices of the student body backing them up. So we're just super excited because we feel like this committee has so much potential to achieve great things. And I'm just super excited about it.
Yeah, just to echo what Rod said, I'm the exact same way. I'm super excited to be a part of this awesome committee, and I'm excited to see the great things that we're going to be able to do. But I'm just really, I'm looking forward to the future, because obviously we have a lot of big things planned with this committee, but we're going to be able to really help the student body, which is what we want to do on USG. So just to be able to be a vehicle of something that can help the student body to really increase visibility for the students' issues, I'm just really excited.
Thank you so much to Roderick Perez and Kevin McSorley for joining me today in the studio. It was very exciting to learn more about the Communications Committee and what you guys have in store.
Thank you so much for having us. We're super excited.
So excited for this upcoming school year.
Campus Ministry just concluded their annual Ignatian Week. The 7 days dedicated to celebrating Fordham's Jesuit mission included a day of service and solidarity, Mass, a creative arts festival, a series of lectures, and a movie screening. And now, Gabby Vossi with sports.
Fordham fall sports are in full swing. The football team is off to a slow start, currently holding a record of no wins and 5 losses. The team is being led by new head coach Joe Conlon, who joined the team this past January after spending 4 years as Yale football's offensive coordinator. This is Conlon's first head coaching position since he started at the collegiate level in 2004. The football team lost against Georgetown this past Saturday here in the Bronx. Fordham men's soccer is currently undefeated at home and won their first conference match against the University of Rhode Island Rams with a score of 4-2. The women's soccer team has won their 6th straight game, tying the 2014 school record. Fordham women's volleyball faced off against George Mason and George Washington this past weekend. In club sports at Fordham University, club softball team played their first games last weekend as an official member of the National Club Softball Association North Atlantic North Conference. They went 0-3 against the Sacred Heart Pioneers. They will have their first home game against UMass Amherst on October 14th. The club baseball team is 4-1 and will be playing Montclair State University from October 12th to the 14th. In New York sports news, the New York Yankees and the New York Mets concluded their regular season on Sunday, September 30th. The Mets finished the season with 77 wins and 85 losses, placing 4th in the NL East. On October 29th, the Mets said goodbye to David Wright, 7-time All-Star, as he retired after missing the majority of the past 4 seasons due to spinal stenosis. The Yankees finished second in the AL East, winning 100 games this season and advancing to the postseason as a wild card. On Saturday, September 29th, the Yankees broke the single-season team home run record when Gleyber Torres blasted a 2-run home run in the top of the 4th inning against the Boston Red Sox. The 1997 Seattle Mariners previously held the record. The Yankees are also the first team in Major League history to hit 20 home runs from every position in the lineup. The Rangers and Islanders started their season this past Thursday, October 4th, with the Rangers facing off against the Nashville Predators and the Islanders facing off against the Carolina Hurricanes. That's all for sports. Thank you for watching. I'm Gabby Vazzi.
That's all we have for you today. For FSTV News, I'm Haley Messenger.
And I'm Becky DiTullio.
Thanks for watching.